Hi, this is welcome to Daily Justine Live. I'm starting this a few minutes early, so if you're watching this on YouTube, bear with me. This is going to start in a few minutes. I'm just making sure that everything's set up okay. And I didn't even tweet this, so I should do that. I'm not good at anything. Actually, today was one of those days I realized truly I'm not good at anything. The only reason why anybody knows who I am on YouTube is because of my makeup tutorials, and my makeup looks horrible. I mean, I look like a clown. If you guys can't notice right now, thank God. But oh my God, it looks so bad. And it was one of those, I was sitting there doing it, and I was like, what am I doing? No, stop. This looks awful. But you know what? It was too late. And then I was like, wait, I have to go live in like 20 minutes. And I left it, and that's how I am where I am right now. Alright, I'm just gonna retweet this tweet I already did, and yes, welcome to Daily Justine. Again, this is gonna start in about 2 minutes. Today I want to talk about voter fraud. Um, because it was basically it's been proven recently by Project Veritas, who the founder, James O'Keefe, I knew personally in college. So I feel like I feel actually very excited to do this video because I feel like there's a part of me, I don't know, I just feel really proud of James, well, proud maybe might be the word, but you know, the mainstream media isn't covering this at all, which is why I wanted to talk about it today, because it is not being talked about. What I'm about to talk about today has not been reported by the New York Times, by the Washington Post, by none of these people. So, and we should all be very disturbed by that, because what I'm about to be talking about today is proof of voter fraud. And it's not being talked about, and it's really disturbing because there's a lot of people that worry, that wonder that maybe their vote doesn't matter. Well, if you're paranoid about that, if you're like feeling paranoid, if you're I'm gonna confirm that for you. No, you're not paranoid. You're not crazy. You're right on the money, actually. it there's I'll talk more about it in a minute. This is starting in a minute. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let me open up the chat here so I can see. All right, it's 7 p.m. Welcome to Daily Justine Live. I like to talk about the news here, though today I'm talking about something that's not in the news, though it should be. I want to talk today a little bit about voter fraud, about proof of voter fraud, about Romney Mitt's here. Romney Mitt, I bet you know Project Veritas. Um, yeah, afternoon stream. I think I'm gonna switch my time doing Daily Justine at I think I'm gonna do it at 7 p.m. Eastern from now on. Those of you in the chat, if you can let me know if you can hear and see me okay, that'd be awesome. There's probably a little bit of a lag. Yeah, Romney Mitt knows what I'm talking about. So let me talk a little bit about, I mentioned that I know the founder of Project Veritas personally, which is true. I knew him, I knew James O'Keefe at Rutgers. I knew him because he was, where do I begin this story? I knew him from, um, from Rutgers. I met him at a college Republicans meeting, I believe. And college Republican, look, let me talk a little bit about college real fast, then I'll get right to the good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff, but I had a really hard time in college. I was an art major. First of all, nobody liked me in art classes because of how good I was. And I got picked on because I was, when you're in art school, or the art school I went to anyway, And in most classes I've taken, the grades are based on group critiques, and a group critique meaning the class would sit in a group. We would sit, review everybody's work, we talk about everybody's work, and we would decide basically on a grade. And everyone was very hard on me because I was my skills. So I had a hard time because of that. I also had a hard time because of my politics. I've always been kind of conservative, like limited government. I also didn't like Howard Dean, which Howard Dean was the Bernie Sanders of his time, you know. So it was not popular of me to not like Howard Dean. The other art students thought I was ridiculous because I didn't like Howard Dean. Fine, I was not popular. I was not though I went to a college Republicans meeting. Oh, another thing, I also identified as a lesbian when I was in college. So I was also very, very overweight in college. So here I am, a fat lesbian going to a college Republicans meeting. And first of all, I just want to say I was more welcomed there than anywhere. Not once did I was I made to feel odd because of my sexuality, because of my size. Mm-mm. Nope. Though I was made to feel odd constantly by fellow art students. So it was very welcoming, and I met James because he was talking to everybody about how he wanted to start a conservative publication on campus. He was trying to recruit people, and he came to me because he heard that I drew cartoons. I'll never forget it. He comes up to me because he heard I was good at drawing cartoons, and he wanted cartoons for his magazine, and that's how I got involved with James O'Keefe. And he um he started the Rutgers Centurion, which was a conservative publication on campus. I was a part of this. I was a part of the founding. I what actually spent a lot of time with James. We were good friends. And yeah, so I have nothing but fond memories about James O'Keefe. And it kind of really bothers me to see negative things about him on the internet. That's a part of why I wanted to post this today, because I've never felt any sort of bad way from James O'Keefe. He's always been um he was always concerned about the truth and getting the truth out there and the truth. And fast forward to now, he has started his organization Project Veritas. And when we were at Rutgers, the things at the Centurion that we did was like undercover, you know, secret recordings kind of stuff. And we would secretly tape professors, deans, and we always did things that was like a way before its time. I remember one time we had Lucky Charms banned from the dining halls because we were making a point about political correctness. We some Irish members of the Centurion came to one of the deans and was like, "Look, Lucky Charms offends us as Irishmen." I don't know. We actually got Lucky Charms banned, and then a few weeks or months later, we come out with the Centurion. And we're like, "Oh look, LOL, we got Lucky Charms banned," and we like embarrassed the university. Like that's the kind of stuff that we used to do. I remember it being so much fun. And anyway, fast forwarding, Project Veritas. So he has his nonprofit organization, Project Veritas, and they've been um, they basically they've continued what um, they've continued what me and James are kind of doing in college. I'm a little distracted by the chat right now. You guys in the chat, I'm gonna pay attention to you in a second. Hold on. I have so much to talk about today. Because my heart is racing. There's been a lot going on with Project Veritas. So, Um, yeah, James has kind of continued holding that baton, secretly recording, uncovering liberal biases. When we were at Rutgers, our concern was the liberal biases on campus. Now they still talk about it, but Project Veritas is very concerned about the liberal bias in the media and how biased the media is and how incomplete the media is, which boy oh boy has even proven right in the past week or so. I'll t- I gotta keep going. So, um, I don't even know where to begin. So, I'll start with last week. So last week, Project Veritas comes out with a hidden camera expose about um, a New York City Democratic commissioner of the Board of Elections. His name is Alan Shulkin. So we're actually not talking about like a low level employee here. Okay, we're talking about um, a New York City commissioner of the Board of Elections. I think he's one of a few commissioners of Manhattan. So he's like one of a couple big bosses in the New York elections. And he was that Project Veritas released a video that was actually recorded like a year ago, but they waited to release this. And this guy Alan Shulkin was talking about voter fraud and how exactly they do voter fraud. I have it right here in front of me. Um, he talked about, oh, actually, here's a direct quote. Like I say, people don't realize certain neighborhoods in particular, they bus people around to vote, said Shulkin. So they literally bus people from A to B to go and vote, and they'll vote at one polling station, and then they'll bring them to another polling station. They vote again, and the whole point of it is that they don't ask for ID at these places, and you can't ask for ID in New York. Some states you can, New York you can't. I don't know why, but um, they don't ask for ID, so this can very easily be taken advantage of, and that's what Project Veritas proved. I'll put a link down below in the description so you can see the video. I mean, this is recorded, and this is like secretly recorded. The guy didn't know he was being recorded. He thought he was just talking to somebody, and it's all out there, the proof. So, and he said that there's a lot of voter fraud. It's on tape. He admits it. And this was barely reported in the media. Why? I don't know. Because is it because of the bias? It was barely reported, and this guy is blatantly talking about people being bussed around. So it's really disturbing. And this guy, Alan Shulkin, says that that maybe we should ID people. We should ID people because there is a lot of voter fraud. Um, he said, uh, yeah, people don't realize certain neighborhoods in particular, they bus people around to vote. And when asked which types of neighborhoods the busing of voters took place in, Shulkin confirmed that it was minority neighborhoods, adding, quote, they get buses and they move people around. So this is proof from the Board of Elections Commissioner of Manhattan that there's voter fraud. And this is, like I said, not a low level guy, okay? This was a very big deal. It was barely reported in the media, which is very disturbing. And if you guys can believe it, it actually gets worse. This was the first of a series, and this was when this came out, October 11th. last week this comes out. So, yeah, we got a New York City Democratic Election Commissioner admitting that they bust people around to vote. And then a few days ago, or yesterday, Project Veritas comes out with another video talking about, hold on, I'm scrolling here. My heart is like racing because I can't believe that any of this is real. It actually honestly breaks my heart that and what's frustrating to me about it is what the media does do is make fun of people that claim that there's voter fraud. I just tweeted an article that came out today from the New York Times making fun of people or making fun of Donald Trump for claiming that there's voter fraud, where James O'Keefe comes out with proof that there's voter fraud. And I'm kind of losing my point here. Yesterday, another Democratic bigwig came out and talked about how exactly he orchestrates voter fraud, and actually, this video that came out yesterday had more to do with how it's featuring this guy Scott Fovel. He's the deputy political director at People for the American Way, which helps. How do I put this? They help organize the vote, so to speak, and he was talking once again, this is all undercover, so he's talking like he's talking to a friend about how they've incited violence at Trump rallies and made it seem like it was the Trump supporters that caused it. So, I really hate to be partisan here. I don't mean to sit here and be like, vote for Trump. But this is really frustrating because this, again, has not been talked about in the media. And here's a guy, and this guy, Scott Fovel, has been fired, by the way. So this isn't like some made up thing here. This is a real thing that really happened, and this guy was really fired. And he's on tape talking about how they orchestrate events and orchestrate violence at Trump rallies. He's on tape bragging about how he's used homeless people and mentally ill people to make a scene. This was on tape. So this guy was fired because of this, but it obviously wasn't just him out there supporting this. I'm sure this came from above him, and this is how things have been. And it's just really scary because we have a mainstream media that not only doesn't promote this, but also makes fun of people that claim or that like to talk about voter fraud, that want to talk about voter fraud, that believe that there is voter fraud or rigged. We have a mainstream media that wants to label you guys as kooky conspiracy theorists, and it's really disturbing to me. I'm getting upset thinking about it. That's the America that we live in. It's like third world. It's frightening. So this came out yesterday. They came out with another video today. That there was about this guy Scott Fovel, basically again, but the video that came out today was talking more about how they do more widespread voter fraud. About this guy Scott Fovel was the Project Veritas person that he was talking to was brilliant because, and they've apparently been trained by like the FBI and the CIA, or That's what their Project Veritas website says. And excuse me. So he was talking about how they do widespread voter fraud, how they bring masses of people from one state to the next if they need. I'm talking about this is the I'm talking about Democrats here, and maybe this is why the media doesn't want to report it. But they talk about how if one state needs more Democrat votes, they take it from people from this state to this state, and how exactly they do that so they don't get caught. And the whole thing is just very, very, very shocking. My friend James is going to get himself shot. And I also want to say, I'll look at the chat in a second. There's so much going on in the chat. But I also want to say that recently I had the privilege of going to the Project Veritas office. They had opened a new office in June, in the beginning of June. And I saw the office. They had, when they opened the office, they had like this barbecue thing. So I went, and the office is stunning. It's beautiful. And I remember thinking it was really nice because there were veggie burgers. I thought that was so nice because, I don't know, because I don't know, because you guys know I'm vegan, you know. When I'm going to a barbecue, I was thinking I would just be starving all day, but nah, there was veggie burgers and all sorts of things, and I had a really lovely time, and I'm glad I had a chance. I actually feel honored to know James. I feel honored that I was in this office. I feel like what they're doing is shocking, and I'm appalled that our media is not reporting this. I'm actually shocked. And I've my voice is like shaking. I've felt like our media was incomplete for a long time because I was following the economy, because, and once I started to understand the big words, once I started to understand the terminology that the traders or the economists would use on mainstream media, I've realized that there were a lot of things that they're just not telling us. That maybe they would say, but it would be like nobody would understand. Do you understand what the flattening of the yield curve means? Do you understand the implications? Of course not. Nobody does. And so I've been feeling for years like we have an incomplete media that honestly the sky could be falling and they wouldn't tell us. That's how I felt, and that's why I wanted to start doing these broadcasts, and then this happened. And all right, I need to go get to the chat because I'm like shaking right now thinking about this stuff. All right, let's see. Let me focus on the chat here. Okay, Jen A asks, how are they not asking for ID? I don't know, Jen. I don't know why they don't ask for ID. I don't know. You gotta talk to New York about that. It's different from state to state. I actually don't remember if I need ID here in New Jersey or not. I don't remember if I showed ID when I was voting before, though I don't think I have. I give them my name, though hilariously, another video of James O'Keefe's, he's gone to another state where all you have to do is give your name, no ID, and he's voted under the name Marshall Mathers, like Eminem's name. He's voted as Eminem. This is on tape. Voter fraud is real. So I'm very upset at a mainstream media that makes fun of it. Let me go to my Twitter real fast. I want to share something I tweeted before. I gotta calm down. Um, I hope everyone's having a good evening. I'll have a funny broadcast tomorrow, but I'm just floored by all of this. Here it is. New York Times. This came out today. Obama tells Trump, "Stop whining and trying to discredit the election." So, and this is just kind of like I don't know, a fluff piece. Once again, making fun of Trump and Trump supporters and Republicans, I guess, in general.
In my lifetime.
Here we go. I don't know if I can have like copyrighted things here, so I'll pause that. But um, basically, Obama accusing these people that are saying that there are voter fraud, accusing them of being sore losers. Um, he talking about how it's not peaceful. So guys, you gotta just peacefully allow this fraud to happen and don't say anything about it because then you're a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, Jen, the media frustrates me a lot too. Um, let's see. Oh, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, Zalia. So I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but she says many of my friends said they showed up to vote just to find out that their registered party had been changed, so they couldn't vote. That's nice. Um, yeah, Romney Mitt James has become big time news, but if I wasn't like if I didn't know James O'Keefe personally, and I've been following him and what he's been up to since college. I'm not sure if I would even know about this, about what I just talked about. I don't even know if I would even know about it because he has become big time news within a circle. People are within a circle of people that generally know who he is already, meaning Drudge Report is talking about it, InfoWars is talking about it, but it's not really being talked about in the mainstream. A little bit. Um, Matt, I'm glad that you're enjoying this. This topic makes me want a Xanax too. I'm actually shaking right now. So, uh, Kaiser, yes, this is actually life. Um, and yeah, Miss Twisted, it's like tinfoil hats if you don't assimilate. That's just how it is. If you don't just shut up and agree with this, then you're a tinfoil hat. And yeah, Romney mate James has gained like 100,000 Twitter followers in the past few days because of this stuff. So he's really catapulted himself here, and that's why I feel actually quite honored to sit here on my stupid stream and talk about this and him because I knew him. I know him. Um, let's see. What else is going on in the chat? Kathy, thank you so much for coming. I know I'm kind of like um this isn't the most upbeat stream of mine. Who am I voting for? I don't want to like make this partisan. And to be honest, whoever I end up voting for, I'm it goes beyond being unhappy about it. It goes way beyond being unhappy about it. It goes beyond, oh, I don't know who I'm voting for, so, I guess I'll vote for blah, blah, blah. No, 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 no. both candidates are uh, are uh are I don't even want to talk about it. Who am I voting for? Let's not. Um Oh, thank you, Matt. Matt says this is not stupid at all. Stop being hard on yourself. You know it is stupid is my makeup today. Can I be hard on my makeup at least? Oh my god. I couldn't believe um let's see what else is going on in the chat here. Um Miss Twisted says I'm beginning to wonder if I don't vote for who I'm supposed to, it will be held against me. Well, Miss Twisted, that's a little bit um kind of exactly what I'm getting at here, because the media is trying, the way it's being done is it's a picture is being painted like you're an idiot if you don't vote this way. Um you're um can I use a non PC word? You're retarded if you don't vote a certain way. You're racist if you don't vote the right way. Um you hate women if you don't vote the right way. And that's kind of how status takeovers happen. It's because it's made into common sense to vote away. And I'm telling you, um well, Tina says, as a Hispanic, I often hear about how requiring an ID is racist, when in fact, voter fraud demonstrates racism because it takes advantage of the minorities and undereducated. Tina, actually really appreciate you saying that, because that's I didn't want to say it because I'm trying not to use the R word, but yeah, that's the argument for not using ID, is that ID is racist for whatever reason. So, and because of that, Project Veritas has proven that not only can there be voter fraud because of this, that there is voter fraud on a massive scale because of this. So, it I'm really glad that I got to talk about this today. I have to stop doing this in a minute. Um, yeah, you're right, Romney Mitt. All Hispanics don't vote the same at all. So the what does ID have to do with anything? But I don't know. So Fargo doesn't look happy. Fargo put a big frown face, and I'm sorry, Fargo. I know this stream is kind of not a fun one. I had to talk about this stuff today though, because like I said, my heart's racing. There's more. Okay, Madeline said, "I'm sad I missed most of this. Can you link to the articles you're speaking about?" I'm gonna put links in the description box when this is done, which it's 7:30, so I'm gonna stop doing this now. But projectveritas.com. That's project PROJECTV as in Victor ERITAS.com, projectveritas.com. There's a lot of information on there. They talk about what they do. Project Veritas is on Twitter. They're on Facebook. All this is there. And unfortunately, there's not many other places where you can find this stuff I'm talking about because, like I said, not reported by the mainstream media, even though this guy, Scott Foval, was fired because of it. So we know it's real. We, but they're not talking about it in the mainstream media, which is scary like I said, it makes me wonder what else could happen, and our mainstream media would not say anything about it. Matt, I'm really glad that you liked this because this, um, okay, Madeline, you're in the UK. Boy, I wonder what our election looks like to people not in America. Actually, I kind of don't want to know. Um, Haiti, thank you for coming, Haiti. Um, I'm glad that you guys enjoyed this broadcast today. I know it was kind of a bummer. I'm going to be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. I think this time seems to work for everybody, including me. So I'll be back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully, I'll have a funner one tomorrow. Though I'm glad I got to talk about all this. Um, there's a lot I didn't get to today. So maybe tomorrow I'll go back to my Fed watching because oh my god. All right, well have a good evening everybody. Thank you for coming. Uh thank you. Goodbye. Have a good night.